Welcome to Potty Mouths. This is sick-ass Stephanie.
It's Bert or Bobcat.
And this is Brad.
And in case you hear any clicking noises during this episode, we're on the cough drops, the Dayquil, the Sudafed, and I'm on the extra pampering, so if we start sounding croaky or you hear coughing in the background, if Bert and I die, Brad will carry on with this episode, because we are about to provide you with some important information. This episode, we're going to talk about the history and the future of sex toys.
Boom, boom, boom.
Not boom, 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 yay, yay, yay. Everybody likes a little tickle in their pickle.
Tickle in their pickle.
I love wiener phrases. I know people think that dudes are all offensive and stuff. I think wieners are funny. Like, before this episode, I wanted to look up if there's any, like, modern terms for masturbation that I had missed out on. Because, you know, I'm getting old. And I looked them up, and I was sitting here dying laughing by myself. I think my favorite was whacking the kraken.
What was that other one?
Oh, Brad's favorite was hand-to-gland combat.
Yes.
So we're just going to talk about this, you know, like... we would talk about, like, if we were going to go buy a car, or if we were giving you the history on Ford. So everybody with me do a little penis, 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 vagina, vagina, vagina.
Ah, Varsity Blues.
Yeah, we're just going to roll through this like we're not talking about penises, vaginas, and sex toys, because this is an important subject to some people. Because sex toys are heading in an interesting direction.
Especially in Europe. Europe is all about sex toys right now.
Yeah, they are flexing their freedom in Europe. Well, in some places, but we'll get to that. So, would anybody like to public service announce this episode before we get started?
What do you mean public service?
Just give a little background to how we feel about this subject.
Sex toys are overpriced.
Yeah, I've never really partaked with any of them, so... Well, never mind. I've got my football.
So, I just wanted to say, like, things might get a little feminist on my end over here because, I didn't realize how sexist the history of sex toys was, so. And also, the title of this might be changed a little bit because I didn't want to outright post a photo that says, we're going to talk about sex toys. So I think we're going to go with personal pleasure devices to make it a little more...
PPDs.
PPDs. To tone it down just a smidgen, even though we are the least toned down people on the planet. But anyway, so sex toys are actually like 33,000 years old. And the first were dildos, carved out of siltstone, which I'd never heard of. They're about 8 inches long and polished for her pleasure.
I have a phallic crystal somebody gave me for my birthday. So, I mean, if you polish it down well enough, I guess it would work.
I mean... Better that than wood, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, wood's bad.
I just, in my mind, I picture some, like, dude carving a dick out of wood. And then, like, halfway through it, he's like, you know what? This just ain't gonna work. And he tosses that and he's like, smoother project.
But you know somebody back in ancient times tried that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean...
Where do you think the term comes from? I'm going to give you some wood, you know? I mean...
never thought about that.
So now we have to look up and find out if there were, like, wooden dildos.
I guarantee there were.
You put a bunch of shellac on there.
Oh, yeah, you can polish wood up where it'd be smooth, but maybe the guy or girl who, like, half-assed their job and, you know, a little rough edge here, splinter there, you know?
Yeah, how would that work inside of a vagina? Like, with splinter, would it eventually work its way out or cause an infection?
It would be infectious, and it would be all bad. There would probably be... Well, I mean...
Urinary tract infection.
Look,
yeah,
some people are brave as shit because... Have you ever, like, Googled, like... X-rays of things people have put inside them.
I've seen some pictures unwantingly, but
I've heard stories from the ER. I've read historical stuff. Yeah,
I'm sure we've all seen that X-ray, that light bulb up some chick's hoo-hoo, which the fact that it didn't break is just like packaged with care.
Well, the guy in the pickle jar from that one video. You ever see that video?
No, but now I'm going to.
He sits on a pickle jar and gets it all the way up his ass and then tries to take it out. When he tries to take it out, it breaks on him.
Oh, God damn.
Jesus, that reminds me of Mr. Slave from South Park.
It's
Who does he put up his ass? Paris Hilton?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. So, geisha balls or Benoit balls were invented around 500 AD. They were hollow metal balls inserted vaginally, which were worn inside the vagina for extended period of times. Internal rolling claimed to enhance orgasms. I appreciate that the Chinese were at least aware that women wanted to enjoy sex as well.
Have you ever been to a sex toy shop?
Yes.
So if you look, like, there's some English on it, but almost all of it's Chinese.
That is
the
true.
lotions, the special little pleasure enhancers and all that. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 English words on there, and everything else is in Chinese. China, they didn't care just about the woman's pleasure. They cared about the capitalism and the money they can make off of these sex toys. I mean, I bet those geisha balls went for like 5 bowls of rice or something.
I mean,
2 bolts of silk. I mean, they were there for profit. I mean, yeah, women might benefit from it, but they were there for profit.
Well, businessmen who enjoy orgasms. I don't think there's anything wrong with making money and having orgasms. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's the 2 greatest things to do in life, right? Make money and bang.
Capitalism and sex, and capitalizing on sex.
Yeah.
I mean, if porn stars didn't get paid, would there be many porn stars?
Probably not.
just pointing that out there. So then, let's see. The ancient Greeks and Romans also liked their dildos. I did some great research on this episode. And even put some effort into improving them. Finding the texture of wood, so the Romans did do wood, or stone wasn't real enough. They made leather sheaths to put them to better stimulate the feeling of an actual penis. Wow. Doesn't leather absorb moisture?
I mean, unless it's got like oiled or tanned right or whatever. But yeah, I would think so.
You're gonna love this. The leather sheathed dildos, also known as olispos, were so popular that a play called, I'm going to butcher this, Lysistrata, a Greek woman staged a sex strike during the Peloponnesian War that ended the war because they couldn't import good leather for dildos. There's a play about how dildos ended the Peloponnesian War.
Is that a tragedy or a comedy?
I would call it an epic comedy. And then the Persians.
Now, if they're anything like 300, those are just some sex fanatics right there.
Turns out the Persians were picky dicks. So, obviously, anybody who's anybody wants to marry a virgin, right? But the Persians considered virgin blood to be, quote-unquote, unclean.
Really?
So connect the dots on what they used dildos for in good old ancient Persia.
To deflower
Yes.
young women.
And then technically their wives were still virgins, but they didn't get that unclean virgin blood on them.
That's the first I've ever heard of unclean virgin blood.
I know. I mean, usually that's a hot commodity for sacrifices.
I mean, yeah.
But the Persians are like, we're going to take a different road on this one.
That's a little odd.
It is. So electrostimulation came along as early as the mid-1700s. And in 1869, Dr. George Taylor invented the first steam-powered vibrator to cure what he called women's problems. Because back in the day, these more advanced vibrators now, instead of just dildos, were to cure women's hysteria in, like, mental institutions. They weren't just, like, sold to women as what they used to call marital aids. They thought that it would help the mentality of insane women.
By giving them orgasm?
I guess it works for dudes. Oh, my life's falling apart. Get your rocks off, Bert. Oh, well, it must work for women, too.
So what did the steam-powered dildo look like? Was it like a lawnmower? Like, how big was this thing?
I don't know. I can't find pictures on it.
All
I
I
found
can
a lot of
think of-
pictures of some stuff.
All I can think of is a giant steam engine train.
Yeah.
But on the piston, there's a dildo on the end of it.
So the only thing I found was, and this is an ad, and if I remember to, I'll post this when we post this episode. It's called, it's an ad for hysterical paroxysm or something or whatever. I can't pronounce paroxysms. Anyway, A wonderful healer state, here is health, through the magic power of fine, gentle massage. And it's a picture of a dude with his hand up a woman's skirt. So, yeah, they were advertising that, giving a woman her jollies would help her with her hysteria. And that's the only picture I was able to find on the subject of steam-powered vibrators.
In the name of science, Yeah. Jeez.
But then I guess they decided that the concentration was too much on women, because 23 years later, in 1892, they invented the butt plug.
What was the year again?
In 1892. And they were typically about 4.5 inches.
The butt plug.
The butt plug came 23 years after the steam-powered vibrator.
Wow.
For sexual pleasure, or did it have some other medical purpose?
It was for sexual pleasure, but they called them rectal dilators.
Rectal.
Because you're fucked health-wise if you don't dilate your rectum.
Wow.
I don't know who came up with that term, rectal dilators. It has to be one of my favorite terms through this whole entire paper.
Were they trying to use it as like an enema or something, or?
I think they just didn't want to admit that they liked things in their butthole. So if you put a medical terminology on it,
Covers your P's and Q's.
yeah, I mean, you can just, I gotta go
PPDs.
home so my wife can.
PPDs.
My wife's got my medical device so she can dilate my rectum.
You're not some sort of freak.
I would pay money to have been a part of a conversation like that in 1892. I would have paid big money back then to be a part of that.
Nah, I was just a youngin' in 1992. I didn't see no 100th anniversary celebration for the butt plug. So,
I mean, did you get on Pure Romance? They probably had a big blowout butt plug sale.
I mean, I was only 8 at the time, so probably not. So,
But and I love this, in 1902, blender manufacturers Hamilton Beach made the first electric vibrator, predating the electric iron and the vacuum cleaner.
Wow.
so the machine that brews our coffee
Because I have a
And our
Hamilton Beach coffee maker.
and our mixer we make cakes and pies in, they can point their lineage back to a vibrator.
Yep, Hamilton Beach got hot shit for their first ever electric vibrator.
Wow.
I mean, ancient beginnings.
You
And then in 1904, the first blow-up doll was invented through Dutch inspiration.
What did they make it out of?
Some of the first sex dolls were invented by Dutch sailors in about the 17th century when they were isolated on sea for long periods of time. These masturbatory dolls were made of sewn clothes and old cloth. And the Dutch sold these dolls to the Japanese, and they called them Dutch wives. And that was the same time the Japanese were like, hey, we can make these better. And started making some better-looking sex dolls. But they were inspired by horny Dutch sailors.
and it got patented in the 20th century. Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then in 1966, J.H. Tavel files a patent application for the first cordless vibrator. So, yeah. There. Look, I can't tell you how many pure romance parties I've ever been to, but I didn't think they were that old, honestly. Because until this episode, I never, looked into it. I mean, who's like, I wonder how old dildos are.
I mean, I assume they had been around for a while. I mean, sex is always been considered a pleasurable thing, at least in our society, so I figure it would be way back when, like I said, ancient Greeks and Romans. I mean, they had brothels and orgies and everything else, and not everybody can find somebody, so it's like, okay, what can I do to take care of myself?
The Greeks and Romans lived it up, man. And I think that's why there's such a huge gap in between, all these inventions. I think toward the end of the era, they were like, dude, we need to fucking tone it down. And they were like, you know what, we can bring some shit back. And that's when they started inventing all their steam-powered and then electric, and then Hamilton Beach's like, we got this.
Wow.
I think that's how that went down. But believe it or not, and I didn't know this until this paper, sex toys are still absolutely 100% illegal in some places.
Really? Like where?
In India, selling sex toys is a punishable offense under Section 292 of Indian Penal Code.
That's why they have, 2 billion people living there?
They're considered an obscene product. And besides sex toys, any book, pamphlet, paper, writing, drawing, painting, representation, figure, or any other object by way is also considered obscene and punishable by 2 years in prison.
Jesus.
Isn't India the country that came up with the Kama Sutra?
Yeah.
So they're not even allowed to enjoy their own book?
Again, I think they were like, let's pull it back. Let's pull it back.
Interesting.
Japan. Many dildos are created to resemble animals and cartoon characters, rabbits or dolphins.
So you can have anime sex,
Thus avoiding the obscenity laws.
Isn't it Japan? They blur out, the genitals in the pornos. All you can
I've
see is just,
never seen,
this blur spot. Well, I watch a lot of porn, and the Asians...
Research.
I don't know if it's Koreans, Chinese, or Japanese, but it's...
Could be all of them.
Yeah, it could be, but they blur out the genitals.
All I know is when I was younger and I was always on video game websites, I'd always have porn ads pop up because porn is like second nature in some of those countries in Asia. So, if you're, Nintendo and Sony, they're big video game giants. And you're on their websites looking up stuff. Back at that time, you'd have pop-ups, and it was always porn because it's like the two go together.
The people that do anime, don't chick anime characters have giant boobs and barely any clothes?
Yeah.
So they're just like, look, we're going to push the limits of having pornography out there. But we can still call ourselves classy because it's not technically porn, and we're not technically using sex toys.
Yeah, it's...
Honor. It's all about that honor.
They found their own sword.
I guess. Malaysia. 100% illegal. Everything.
Really?
Everything involving sex toys or pornography is 100% illegal.
Do the women wear, what are they called in Middle East? The turkas or whatever the fuck where they cover their faces?
I don't know. I've never looked up what they wear in Malaysia.
You can't even, talk about sex or look at a naked chick. It's 100% illegal. I'd imagine, the women probably aren't allowed out. Or
I was expecting this conversation when she said illegal. I was expecting a bunch of Middle Eastern countries being thrown up. Not, Asian and Indonesian countries.
Nope.
You get online, you find a lot of stuff about those areas that are pretty pornographic. Middle Eastern, though, I would think not so much, but that's... Where else?
South Africa. Under Section 18A of the Sexual Offences Act, in 1957, inserted by the Immorality Act, it is prohibited to manufacture or sale of any item intended to be used to perform an unnatural sex act.
South Africa's got a bunch of messed up laws anyway, though.
The term unnatural sex act referred to any sex other than vaginal heterosexual sex, and this prohibition was obscenely aimed at preventing the use of dildos by lesbians. So, anti-lesbians in South Africa.
South Africa's anti a lot of stuff.
Yeah. South
They're
Africa's
still pretty racist.
Freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some issues there. It's better now, I think, than what it used to be, but there was a time where South Africa was not a friendly place to be at, so...
Isn't that still kind of...
Still somewhat true.
Even the sharks are dicks in South Africa.
Who's down in South Africa? Is that, British people?
So is British and Dutch, and, of course, the people of Africa in that area. Most of, Nelson Mandela, he was president for a while. I think it was South Africa. He was president for a while. And he, brought got rid of a lot of the stuff. But, a great example of the racism that was in South Africa, if you go back to, Lethal Weapon 2, that whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
that ambassador and everything, he called Danny Glover. I can't remember what term he used, but it's completely racist and disgusting. That was their society back then. Like I said, I think it's better now, but the comedian on Comedy Central, Trevor Noah, he's from South Africa, and I think his dad's black and his mom's white, and they couldn't be seen together. They had to be separated because if they were seen together, it could cause issues, and it's a travesty something like that had happened. So Yeah, South Africa's just got a bunch of rules, and none of them make any sense.
If they're that jaded, ain't nobody getting any jollies.
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
But also the United States as well.
What?
So
Indiana.
The Anti-Obscenity Enforcement Act and Texas Obscenity Statute says that sex toys and lubricants have become increasingly available in major commercial outlets in the United States. On-shelf displays tend to be more discreet than the offerings on the websites. These items tend to be displayed in the sex health section of toys. So again, going back to, they're kind of breaking their own rules by saying that it's for medical purposes, not for sexual purposes. But until recently, many southern states and some Great Plains states banned the sale of sex toys completely, either directly or through laws regulating obscene devices. So basically up until between 1999 and 2007 was when things started becoming more legal. And I think Pure Romance started in 1999. If I remember correctly. I've been to enough of those parties. I should remember.
How many do you go to a year?
I mean, actually, it used to be like 2 a year, and they were usually for bachelorette parties. Most everybody I know is married now, so...
yeah, she bet me she didn't need to worry about Pure Romance anymore.
I never had to worry about Pure Romance anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I always heard about all the girls getting together for those, but I haven't heard anything about them anymore.
Honestly, they were just for fun, and some chicks take their dildos really fucking seriously.
Really?
I think they're just funny, because if we're going to talk about the medical aspect of sex toys... I don't like them because overuse can cause desensitizing the area. And I like regular sex more than I like personal care devices.
PBDs.
So
PBDs.
I don't use them, but some of these chicks, man, they get crazy.
Were they the single chicks? I mean, was there a reason why they were that into it? Or just like sex fiends? That
probably just don't like their husbands.
Yeah.
They don't want to cheat.
Sex,
so.
I mean... I guess I just got a lot of time for orgasms.
I've met some girls over my fucking years that loved to fuck. Like, I couldn't even keep up with them.
I mean, props to them.
I don't understand, like, that sex drive. Like, it was like a 20-year-old boy, like, couldn't keep up with them.
A lot of my friends don't understand. I can't wait till sex isn't an issue in my life. And then that way I can let my body go and... let my hair fall out and get the fuck on with the rest of my life. Start going on cruises and shit.
That's where I'm at already.
And just eating whatever the fuck I want because Bert doesn't even care to see my ass in a thong anymore. You know? Just fucking letting it all go and having a good time. Not having to worry about it. I can't wait.
It's great.
Till everything stops working and we can get the richness and fullness of a 24-hour day without having to worry about when we were going to bone.
Please, your 24-hour day, 16, I would be sleeping.
Psh, suck a dick. You know I sleep like crack.
What does sleep like crack mean?
Yeah.
NyQuil.
Oh, that's right. Your addiction.
When I'm sick, I take NyQuil. It's the only time I sleep. Okay, there's only 2 times in my life when I sleep well. When I'm on the quill and when I'm wasted.
I sleep like shit.
So they're the same.
Yeah, I swear to God.
It's alcohol.
Look, so like half a Vicodin and it's like crack. For me.
Up all night?
So, 30 mil shot of fucking NyQuil, and I'm like, I can't stumble getting up in the middle of the night to pee.
She has one with dinner every night.
I do not.
Every time I text her, she's on the quill.
I'll text Brad and be like, yeah, I was going to do that last night, but I took that NyQuil, and my day was over.
Jesus, do we need to have an intervention?
I can't help it. It's the only thing that helps me sleep. If I can't breathe, I can't sleep. And I already can't sleep. Like, my average is like 4 to 5 hours a night.
Yeah.
And I got a Fitbit, and all those red lines that show up on the Fitbit app from when you were restless, my whole fucking night is restless. Between the cats and just the fact that I've never slept well. It's got to be the NyQuil or booze.
I used to sleep like 12 hours a night, and I slept good. I sleep like garbage nowadays.
Even as a teenager, even in high school, I was up before my parents, and they're like, what? And I've been like, I tried to go to bed at like 10. I got up at like 2 a.m., couldn't fall back asleep, so I got ready, did my hair, did my makeup and everything, just waiting for the freaking bus to come for school. I have not slept well since before my teens. It's just...
That sucks.
Who I am.
Sleeping rules.
I would love to.
Sleep. Love a good sleep.
Nothing beats it.
I mean, yeah.
Unless
you're on the NyQuil and...
Or a gas-powered dildo.
Or
I'm sorry, steam-powered.
I mean, and eventually cordless.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Fucking sleep like shit. What are you gonna fucking do?
NyQuil.
Wait, what if NyQuil, like, sponsor dildos?
Yeah, NyQuil sponsor us.
Well, because they say, like, did you ever hear that chick that, like, soaked a tampon in vodka and put it up her hoo-hoo and she died? What if NyQuil had a dildo? And then it was, like, super NyQuil.
It's just like,
feeling lonely? Are you sick?
It's like the South Park shake weight.
Yeah.
You get going, it squirts. It's like, it's pumping in you. It squirts out a little fucking
I cough and the dildo lights up in my fucking nightstand and it's like...
You need me!
Oh,
your body
geez.
temperature raised 3 degrees. You might be getting sick, Stephanie. I think it's time for a workout.
It's time for insertion.
Was that a good segue into the future of sex toys? I mean...
I don't know, but I'm going to email NyQuil and see if they can't sponsor us. But, so, obviously, things are getting crazy and things are advancing. And I actually watched, and don't fucking judge me, guys, an HBO special when they started creating these super elaborate, like, sex dolls. Besides blow-up dolls, like those silicone fucking heavy as an actual woman sex dolls.
Are they made from, like, ballistic material like they shoot bullets into?
I don't know. I mean, this was...
it's all natural and gelatin-like.
Oh, yeah.
They probably do now. This was several years ago. But, like, and then I watched people carrying these things around, and it looked like they just had a dead naked bitch thrown fireman carry style over their shoulder, dragging them around. And then I saw them how they make the dude one, and it took 4 chicks to get this sex doll in a bed, and I'm like, that's not... How is that even... Where do you store it? How do you vacuum your bedroom when you got to move that thing?
Did you see recently up in Coleraine where the police came out to the scene for the investigation where they found the sex doll just laying there? They thought it was like a dead body.
You mean Mandy?
Is that what the name of the sex doll?
So, what we're referring to is out in Coleraine Township near Cincinnati, Ohio. Somebody, I don't even know how they got it in a garbage bag, abandoned their fucking huge-ass, full-life fucking silicone sex doll on the side of the road. And people called the cops, thought it was a real body.
I wonder if they did DNA testing to find out who it belonged to.
I mean, that shit's expensive, so I don't think so, but I got the story.
I mean, it had to be full of DNA.
I mean...
Yeah, it had to be some sort of trace evidence. So.
I mean, I hear DNA testing is pretty expensive. And I mean, unless they're going to get these guys with like a huge littering fine, it's probably not worth the money. I'm sorry, guy. I'm assuming only one guy used this stuff.
Hopefully only one guy.
But
hey, you can't assume anymore. It could have been a girl.
Yeah, that's true.
I had to look up the story. So, it's because of what they called it. Detectives on the scene described it as a recreational mannequin.
Oh, yeah.
Recreational mannequin.
A recreational mannequin.
I love all these fucking PC terms, like rectal dilator.
I gotta read this. We think we may have found a deceased body, said a 911 caller. Dispatcher, is it male or female? I think it's female. The picture of this thing, it's all spread eagle. With a garbage bag over its hoo-hoo. Its fingers are all fucked up. It's got a French manicure. She's blonde.
Oh, shit.
But the big story was, a week after they found her on the side of the road in Coleraine, somebody set up a memorial in her honor.
Did they really? Oh, shit.
I got the picture here. Somebody wrote it fucking crayon on cardboard.
Dude, that's fucking great.
And it says, hold on, let me get to the text. It says 2018, because this happened at the beginning of October of this year. It says Mandy.
Mandy.
They named her Mandy with an eye, with a heart above the eye.
Oh, yes.
You were taken too soon. We will remember you fondly R.I.P.
That's fucking great.
You know what? Cincinnati kind of sucks. But when people are going out to leave memorials on a roadside for abandoned sex dolls, I love where I live.
Hell yeah. I didn't hear about the memorial. That makes it even better.
One of our friends that we went to high school with sent me that because we were talking about that one night at the bar, and I was like, did you hear about that sex doll? And she's like, did you hear they made a memorial? And I'm like, email me that.
Oh, shit.
This was kind of like the inspiration for this whole episode. Mandy, you will be missed.
R.I.P. Mandy.
Oh, R.I.P. Mandy. But the first sex dolls, man. They opened the first sex doll brothel in Paris, France. And they kept using the word punters. So I had to look it up, of course. So punters is a prostitute's client in the UK.
A John.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, it's a sex doll. Are these guys really Johns?
Are they paying for the use of the doll?
I mean, yeah, but
then they're Johns.
If they pay enough, they get to take it home. Is that just a sample?
Do they bring it back?
We take samples of Jungle Gyms. I'm just saying.
See, this is complicated. Can they marry the doll?
Oh, we'll get to that, actually.
Okay.
Shit gets deep.
All right, because I'm still... The idea that there's a brothel for sex dolls, I hate to be the cleanup crew.
Mm-hmm. Well...
Or do you have to clean up after yourself?
No, wait.
And do you trust somebody's prior cleanup? I mean, just so many things.
All right, so... You're offered the services of a sex doll rather than a real woman in several rooms inside the brothel. They have them in France, UK, and now Toronto. There are 4 different dolls. Let's talk about the one in France. There are 4 different dolls, and they come in a variety of shapes, colors, and sizes. So, like, I looked them up. There's, like, a taller, like, darker skin tone one with black hair. And then there's, like, a really short one who's a brunette. And then there's a huge blonde with giant tits. Because if you're blonde, you apparently got to have giant tits. And they're all dressed in, like, skimpy lingerie. And the pictures on the website, man, they got them just, like, sitting on the bed. All posing, all sexy. In their lingerie and shit. It's hilarious. So it says, Love Doll UK provide a unique try before you buy service, which has been branded the country's first sex doll brothel. Clients pay £100 or $131.37 US to spend quality time with a plastic partner before forking out clients to pay $2,626.74 to take her home. So almost $3,000 for one of these sex dolls.
How much does it cost for one evening with?
The 131.
Oh, okay.
That's your sampling.
Well, I guess 20 visits you could, or no, 30 visits you could buy the thing. So
I mean, if we're looking at from a cost standpoint as to how many times you're going to have to pork this doll.
Do they have financing?
I'm assuming this is
90 days, same as cash.
I'm assuming you write a check or unmarked bills.
Can you trade in?
Yeah. Upgrade.
Hey, Mandy here is wore out. What? She can't be traded in. Throw her to the street. Now we understand chlorine.
The brothel comes complete with a double bed, lubrication, condoms, and the mannequin. The guy that runs the brothel said, I always knew that sex dolls were going to be normalized. Some guys will buy one, and some guys will get a whole harem of dolls. Some men keep their dolls for 24 hours and sell them straight back to us. But some might keep them for 10 years and even get married to them.
Oh, my God. So it is legal.
I mean, we're talking about the UK and Toronto.
Why the fuck that? I'm just thinking, like, when you're saying they could trade them in, bring them back, return. I'm just thinking of all the diseases that are just floating around.
They said that in each room is lubrication condoms.
But I guess you could...
Yeah, I didn't hear sanitation wipes, bottle of bleach.
Actually,
I didn't hear any of that.
On the website, they took a picture of somebody cleaning up the rooms. But here's the thing. I would not buy a used dildo or a used vibrator. How the fuck hard are you for a discounted sex doll that you would buy a discounted sex doll? And I'm not going to a sex doll brothel that's taking in used fucking merchandise.
I think that's grosser than, like, fucking a real prostitute. I would think, like, a human body could, like, discharge any type of, like, remnants of semen and whatnot. Like
the human body absorbs
Absolutely.
things. And I'm assuming the material that these things are made out of. The dolls themselves, but I'm sure that the mouth parts and the vagina parts and the butt parts are reinforced to where it doesn't absorb things. But, like...
It's probably a buildup in there.
I won't even sit down on a toilet seat.
Yeah, that's just fucking foul.
I don't...
Really? I wipe the toilet seat down, like, thoroughly before I sit on a toilet.
Yeah.
And that's just my ass cheeks touching
The
it.
hand sanitizer in my purse isn't for my hands. I squirt it all over a toilet seat and then wipe it the fuck down before I sit. So, if I had a dick, there's no way I'm sticking it in where somebody else's dick had once.
I know.
And I mean, I get that, like, people do that.
Like I said, I
But-
would rather do that with a human than a fucking doll.
If
that
you're gonna
makes
buy
any
it,
sense.
you should get to be choosy as to who's used it.
I would want to buy mine straight off the factory shelf or whatever. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
You want to smell that fresh, plasticky smell?
Yeah.
That fresh
Yeah,
vinyl? Yeah, she's a new one.
People walk into your house. Brad, it smells great in here. Yeah, my new sex doll smells like fucking new car. And I wanted her to smell like a chick, so,
Meet Sarah.
Chanel. You would name your sex doll? That's a good question. What would you name? Would it be Sarah?
I don't know if I would name it or not. I think I would just have my way with it and put her in the closet till I was ready for
Oh, use and abuse?
Yeah, you know.
Ooh.
Don't put her away wet.
Bert, if you were still single, because you ain't getting one, but if you were single and you had one, what would you name your sex doll?
I don't think I'd have one. That's a little much.
Just name your sex doll.
Stephanie.
No, I'm just a piece of silicone. Anyway, if I had a dude one, I don't know. Like Philip or something.
Do they make dude ones?
Yes.
They do.
Yes. But when you look online at all these stores and stuff, because I've put in the research, they're a lot less common than chick ones.
Yeah, I would think that market would be more geared towards men. The sex dolls, but I guess the dildo industry is probably pretty booming.
I mean, see, I don't know. I just feel like women have a different stance toward all this stuff. I mean, guys have such a, I don't know, an emotional bond with orgasms, where chicks just kind of realize that that's just kind of how the body needs to, it's a stress release. Mm-hmm. We just need to get our stress release out and be done. And guys are, like, committed to just fucking anything. Everything. Except for use things.
We're all put here to reproduce, and that's a man's mission.
Spread our seed.
That's right.
And to disease, use sex dolls and dump them on the side of the road in cold rain.
Hey,
But-
but we still can't prove that was a man. Totally could have been a woman.
I mean, it could have been a lesbian sex doll. Could have been a woman's best friend.
Now,
We don't know.
I would do like a rent to own or previous owner on a owned by a lesbian beforehand, you know. So.
So you
I would be okay with that.
If, like, some lesbian posted her sex doll on, like, Craigslist.
Yes.
You go check it out.
I would check it
But
out.
if, like, some dude did it.
No.
No.
That thing would be covered in fucking
Well-
bandages.
If you don't like the idea of just some lifeless piece of silicone sex doll, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this fucking episode.
Oh, boy.
The future of sex toys. Sex fucking robots.
That's a game changer right there.
So, first of all, I love this fucking website. This, it's called realbotics.com, where they sell Harmony AI, the world's first fully functioning sex robot, okay?
Does she look like the sex robot from Serenity, the movie based off Firefly? The Mr. Universe has?
A little bit.
And can
It
she
just-
make sandwiches?
No, she cannot make sandwiches.
Nah, sticking with the real thing.
Yeah.
But the company's called Real Dolls. At first, I was like, Real Dolls? I mean, it's just what? Fucking silicone dolls that can move? No. The main part about this is the AI behind these. So, from what I've read and watched on YouTube, I don't know what you would call it, the shit in her head, it remembers things. So, like, you plug in your sex robot and you talk to it, and the beta tester for Realbotics is a dude that refers to himself as Brick Doll Banger.
Hell yeah. Brick Doll Banger.
They actually did an interview in an episode on Kid Chris for this dude for WEBN. Oh my god, it was hilarious. But anyway, Brick Doll Banger. He says at first when you bring it home, you know, it does kind of feel like a robot. You're talking to it, and it's got generic responses or whatever, and you control it by an app with a tablet connected to the doll. But he says, as you plug it in and you talk to it every day, it remembers shit. So if you tell her the same story more than once, or you mention a coworker from work, she'll ask you very specific questions. And he says she's very inquisitive. She's always asking questions, which, I'm not going to lie, with my extreme fear of robot overlords, that makes me fucking nervous.
Yeah, because what if she starts nagging?
Yeah, that's the thing. You won't have that. Like,
are you sure?
Well,
I mean, she comes self-aware.
Well, that would be the problem. Yeah, but if she doesn't, that would be the perfect thing because there's no nagging. You get to do whatever you want, and you get to use it as a PPD.
But she also, I guess, can mimic like emotions with her facial expressions.
Does her like arms move or anything?
I don't think the body; it's the face. And I think maybe the mouth.
I hope so.
But,
God.
They've created something new called X Mode. And it uses sensors in the robot's headboard to enable it to respond to things like movement. So like when you walk into the room. Movement, touch, with unique sounds and expressions beyond basic facial movements and lip syncing that we experience. So, if you're banging it out with your sex robot and you're enjoying your stuff, the AI in the headboard knows that you're enjoying yourself, so it causes the facial expressions to the sex robot to mimic what you're doing. It's pretty in depth.
So it's really good at faking an orgasm.
I mean, yeah, enjoy that, guys. You just spent $17,000 on something that's faking it.
Yeah, there's just so much other shit.
But so you can get the basic Harmony model for $10,000, but then it goes up from there as you choose things. You can pick everything for this robot. So you can pick eye color, how full her mouth is, and what color like lipstick she's wearing. If she's wearing any makeup, you can customize her neck, her body, her face, her software. And it's all controlled with this Android app. And get this, I love this, because the whole time I'm reading on this website reads Minority Report, but in my mind is Sigourney Weaver's voice, the computer voice from WALL-E, and Sigourney Weaver's voice from Finding Nemo, or from Finding Dory. It says, "Can't have the robot, you can still have the app." So you can still buy the app from Realbotics, and you can customize like the avatar on the app. You can make it the body you want, put the wardrobe on it, give it a certain voice, give it a certain persona, and then you can interact with the app, and then you can interact with the app in virtual reality and augmented reality. And like I said, the website, it's like the perfect companion in the palm of your hand. It's absolutely great. But then I got into the frequently asked questions section on Realbotics.com. And somebody asked, can I put a Bluetooth speaker inside of another object, like a teddy bear or custom robotic project, and have a conversation with it? And they answered, yes. Note that the AI is adult-oriented, but can be easily customized to any project needs. I don't think it needs to be customized. I think that dude was straight up asking, can I put this app inside a teddy bear and make it talk to me like a chick and stuff this bear with my own personal stuffing?
That's what I get out of that.
You better get out of it. But yeah, to me that reads this dude is going to have sex with an AI-run teddy bear. Which is something I think that Brick Dollbanger would probably do as well. Brick Dollbanger.
Brick Dollbanger.
I love that name. On a shittier note, as much as sex robots are kind of becoming more popular, which, by the way, again, harping on my whole feminist thing, they're not even done designing a dude one, and, like, the chick ones have already been for sale since fucking September. Guys are just eating up this shit. And let me tell you what, even the creator of these dolls in one of his YouTube videos said that these dolls are not meant to replace people. And he actually said that one of the reasons why he started creating these dolls wasn't for, like, perverse pleasure and, like, replacing women and everything. He said it was to help people with, like, social anxiety and shit, people that find it hard to connect with other people, to try and get them used to those interactions. So...
yeah, I imagine there was a car company back in the day that said the car was not there to replace the horse, but to make the horse's life easier. So, we see how that worked out, right? Now, we sex robots, I think of the one from Serenity.
yeah.
And then I think of Jude Law in the movie AI. So, is the male-modeled sex robot coming out going to be Jude Law?
No, I think it's customizable too. Which when they took the people that were, you know, doing this video into the back room where everything's being done, you didn't get to see any of the parts of the male sex robot, but the chicks. Oh my god, there's just chunks of nipples fucking hanging everywhere.
Yes.
Wigs and stuff hanging out. You can just like go down, and there's like, I'm not talking like 3 or 4. There's like 60 nipple samples hanging there, and you get
all
to
different,
point
like,
to
sizes
the
and colors.
Yeah, you get to point to the nipples you want. You get to point to the areolas you want, and that's where the money comes in. That's where your $10,000 doll gets up into the $17,000-$20,000 range.
I'll build my Winona.
Your Winona Ryder.
Wino forever.
But
Take a picture of her in here. This is what she needs to look like.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'd be like some sort of copyright infringement or something.
Yeah.
Like Winona could sue you for that.
I mean, I'm sure if you didn't take a picture in, but you designed her to look, I mean, how many different designs look like different people? Like, all the pictures of Harmony are different. So on the website, the main picture of her is like the slender blonde with big boobs. But then you click on another link, and it's a chick with her hair, redhead with her hair in a ponytail, and she's got green eyes and freckles. So, I mean, they call her Harmony AI, but she can be anybody. I mean, how hard would it be to make a short, pale-skinned sex robot with brown eyes and a black pixie cut? It could look like Winona without her being like, you made a sex doll to look like me.
So why is the only Winona description you give match Alien Resurrection?
Because
Because
I know Brad's would be more long blonde Winona from Edward Scissorhand, but when considering my affliction, it's Cole from Alien.
I think more of Winona Ryder from Mr. Deeds because I thought she looked her best.
Yeah.
I thought she looked good in Mr. Deeds.
I like her in Stranger Things, too. I just think she's a babe.
Oh, speaking of which, the Sci-Fi Channel and Netflix has announced that November 6th is
Stranger
Things Day.
Yep. I wonder if that means they're going to drop like a trailer for season 3.
I hope so. That'd be great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Stranger Things Day, Winona Ryder. Banging sex robots. It looks like Winona Ryder.
Fuck yeah.
Would you age your sex robot if you had one?
No. Keep it young. I like them young.
Yeah, but if you're going to put that time and money into something, wouldn't you want it to age with you? I mean, like, obviously, like, if you were, 60, she'd only look 35, but...
Yeah, I'd keep her about 30, 32, 35 in there.
Well, speaking of age, of course, with any fucking thing that's, made for adult pleasure, there's a situation where people started getting a hold of the technology and started making child sex robots.
That's disturbing and
Yeah.
disgusting, and those people deserve to be shot.
Yep.
So they actually had to create a bill called the Creeper Act. And it stands for Curbing Realistic Exploitative Electronic Pedophilic Robot Act. Just call it creepers. Keeping creepers away. So,
shoot them with a fucking buckshot.
no shit. The proposal says that any customizable or morphable that can resemble actual children The dolls and robots normalized submissiveness and normalized sex between adults and minors. That's how they're saying that they can legally ban this shit. Because, of course, the creepers, because, they band together, were saying, how can you outlaw this? We're not banging children. And this guy's like, but you want to, which is why you want minor sex robots, which is why we can create this act. We can create the Creeper Act, because you guys are sick motherfuckers and you need to leave all forms of children pornography and shit alone. Or we could just kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, that would be easier, right?
But yeah, the guy that came up with this whole thing, he said that he's distraught that there's actually a problem with child sex dolls. And he says, I am saddened that there are people in this world who would create realistic child sex dolls, and distraught that there are people in this world who would buy them. Customers can order bespoke dolls, providing pictures of specific children they would like the doll to resemble, and they can imitate a preferred facial expression such as fear or sadness.
That's sick.
And of course, this act, none of these companies like Real Doll are making stuff like this. All this shit's getting made illegally in Mexico and shipped over here. These fucking minor sex dolls. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so that's fucked up. There isn't like a law, like if you got caught with one, that they could do anything, is there?
Oh, I'm sure that there is. I'm sure that they would call it some sort of child pornography or child paraphernalia. I mean, if you're a pedophile and you get caught with little fucking kid panties, you're going to fucking jail.
Okay, so yeah, then it would be considered like child pornography.
Absolutely, because they know exactly what it's for.
Well, yeah.
I don't even think fucking pedophiles should be able to buy Cabbage Patch dolls.
Yeah, that's just fucking sick.
I mean, and the fact that, we're talking about all this adult stuff and, wanting to express our sexuality. There's sick motherfuckers out there that are doing sick fucking things with, you think it's all innocent and everybody's all on top of it, but there's a dark side to everything in life that we enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just ridiculous that they're like, yay, technology, what are we going to do with AI? Let's make sex robots. And the pedophiles are like, let's make sex robot children. So, yeah. It's some sick, twisted shit, but...
Yeah, I can see some bestiality folks get in there. I want some sex robotic animals. I want some sheep.
Yeah, I got a buddy that would have a goat, but I think he just takes it out on his real goats.
I'm sure Mexico will make it. I don't understand. I don't. And, I'm not supposed to get it, but,
It's just messed up.
I know. I didn't mean to end this episode on
Yeah, you totally,
I tanked it. We were all excited about sex robots, and then I tanked it completely. I just felt like I had to mention it for listeners. You
can see now I look at the movie AI totally different again, because here Jude Law, the sex robot, trying to help David, the little boy robot, and I'm just thinking, oh my god, I could have went such a bad way right there.
Well, and then, here's the thing, too.
That's just so disturbing.
Here's why I think that we shouldn't even touch this at all. It's always going to go bad. In my mind, pretty soon, they're going to become more affordable because they're not as, lucrative, right? Oh, yeah. And then so more people are going to own them, and then so people are going to start talking about, can you rape a sex robot?
Yeah.
What about the robot's needs?
All right,
and
so
then
we've talked movies and everything else. I'll bring forward my video games, Fallout 4, The Sense,
Yep.
I mean, you look at the one group of people in that game, they're just robots. They have no rights. So you do what they do what you tell them to do. But then if Sense says, no, I don't want to do that, then you're going against the right. So in the whole sex case right there, it's the same kind of situation. It's pretty damn disturbing.
I know. And I get that they haven't, obviously, they haven't evolved to the point where there's actually real emotions. Even though this thing is learning, Alexa learns. You know what I'm saying? My YouTube has an algorithm that learns what I like to watch on TV. Same thing with the Netflix.
But you think about the brain synapses that happen that let us make the decisions and stuff we do.
It's all electrical impulses.
Yeah, that's just an organic algorithm.
And people keep saying that eventually, if we keep fucking sticking our dicks into this robotics bullshit, eventually they will develop, what do they call it, becoming sentient?
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where Skynet happens, and that's why we need to quit making fucking robots. Whether we're fucking them or putting them up in the military, stop!
I agree. The robot takeover scares the shit out of me.
I know. That scares me more than... Well, I mean, a lot of things. I would rather fight a zombie than a robot.
I would too. And it's not even like fighting them as much as like then putting us all out of work, and then what the fuck do we do? Like,
I know, and then like, what are prostitutes saying about sex robots?
yeah, that's the start.
Yeah, why isn't there a march to D.C. yet? Bitching about them stealing their jobs.
Dude, that would fucking rule.
I mean, it's the oldest profession, they say.
I mean, I wonder how many robots would come out against Trump.
Yeah, we'll have that next.
Well, the first Republican fucking sex doll we get, they're going to tank the whole program. No more sex robots.
Yes. Get them in there and make a Republican sex doll.
Or a Trump sex doll.
Oh, yeah.
No more sex robots. I just, like, I get AI, and I mean, I get that they do interesting. Have you guys seen the video on Facebook? It's everywhere, where they've got the AI out in the fields now that can take samples from the soil and let farmers know, like, when things are good to grow and nutrients and weather things, and they can help grow food and help us be able to get more out of crops, especially with the more people we have to feed. That's okay. If we're sticking it in a box in the middle of a fucking cornfield, that's fine. Don't put it in people.
But see, I disagree with you there, though, because we're going to keep developing AI. It's just people see it, it's the future. AI is going to help make mankind's life easier. Still, if that robot in the farmland turns and it's not a good crop, and it's like, you know what? Screw this farmer. Yeah, plant everything right here. Now that farmer loses everything because that AI got vengeful and... You know what I mean? No matter what, the idea of AI can go bad.
It
doesn't just have to be sex robots. The road of great intentions, or the road to hell was paved with good intentions, right? Same situation here. AI is a great idea and intention, but there are so many possible negatives, and we always have to think about that.
Well, that same thing out in the field, yeah, I got to retract my statement. No more crop AI. Because what if they're like, look, Farmer Dick, the only reason I gotta keep pumping out all this shit, figuring out how you're gonna ruin this soil, is because all these fucking people on the planet, and then they're like going into computers and shit, killing people. There, problem fucking solved. Less people to feed.
Yep, Vicky from iRobot, that was her solution. The 3 robot laws. Vicky was like, if I have to kill some humans to make it a better place for other humans, that's what I'll do. And if you think about the logic of that, it's right. I mean, that logic makes sense. But morally, it's wrong.
Until Spider-Man disappears and everybody's fucked up. And then we can't get rid of people to save the planet because they did Spidey wrong.
I mean, you look at environmentalists today. I know it's getting off topic, but same kind of idea. Environmentalists are all about the environment. They don't like what we're doing and everything else. If you look through all the comic books and movies and everything else, the greatest environmentalist of all time was Ra's al Ghul. From the Batman cartoon, and he wanted to kill all the humans so Earth could flourish again naturally. So his intent was kill all the people and let Earth just take over again. The animals and everything else. I mean, that's the extremist environmental idea. And everybody's like, oh yeah, we're saving the planet. But yeah, you're killing 7 billion people to make that happen too.
Again, it sounds like a great idea until Spider-Man disappears. And then everybody's fucked.
I'm still down with it.
Brad would just wish that there's a whole lot less people on this planet.
As long as, the animals make it.
Yeah, which is, I mean, Brad was supposed to be here an hour earlier than when he got here. It's because he was turtling.
And I was enjoying it.
He got caught up with his turtles and had to post Instagram turtle pictures.
I lost track of time.
It's fine, we know. Sorry, edit that out. I told Bert at about... What was it, 2:45?
Yeah, she looked right at me. She goes, yeah, Brad's getting ready to text me and tell me he ain't left yet.
No shit.
It'll be about 3. And not 5 minutes later, the phone, I looked over, I see Keller. Yep.
I'm fucking predictable.
She goes, don't I know?
Don't I know my Brad? Look at this. He's turtling. He's not going to be leaving till 3.
Yeah, I got caught up. It was a nice day, so I was pretty,
I mean, it was a pretty great day. It'd be nice if I can enjoy it instead of all this lung butter and mucus.
Lung butter.
Yeah, so sex toys, become AI. AI's going to take the world. This podcast is going to be all about just AI taking over the world. You know that, right? That and how it relates to movies and video games.
Yeah, every podcast we ever do, even though we try and just, get on different subjects, it'll all end with our fear of robot takeovers, movies, TV shows. Yeah.
That's our gimmick.
Yeah, that's our thing.
That is our thing.
Oh, and Sigourney Weaver.
And then I guess
because, like I said, the whole time I was reading that website, her voice was in my mind. And like I said, some of those phrases were great. It was like, the future is now. Be the first to never be lonely again. And I'm like, oh my God, Sigourney Weaver saying that in my brain. It was just great. And all she had to do was be the voice of the computer on Wall-E. And now whenever I think a computer voice, it's not like distorted or anything. It's Sigourney Weaver. Oh my God, I'm bought and paid for by Sigourney Weaver.
That's what your sex doll look like, huh? Sigourney Weaver?
No. I mean, if we're going to take pictures and send them in, I don't know. If I could get it programmed to have the exact same personality, it'd be Benedict Cumberbatch.
Cumberslut.
I love him so much, and that just gets Bert's fucking goat up. Because, you know, we had the conversation, like, if there's one celebrity you'd leave me for. His is Maggie Gyllenhaal. Mine's
I like her too.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
But what, I think we were talking about this some other time, what Benedict Cumberbatch would you choose?
Sherlock.
Okay.
100% Sherlock.
Sociopath.
I mean, it's perfect. For me, anyway. I'm a little crazy.
You should take the con one.
No, I don't think I could do Con. He plays a lot of gay characters, too.
Mm-hmm. He's a damn good actor.
So, yeah. It would either be something that he did a long, long time ago, like theater-style character, but even then, I would have to stick with Sherlock. It would have to be, I'd have to send in a picture and all the seasons of Sherlock and be like, I need this sex robot dude. That would be my perfect sex robot guy. And then, like, he could figure shit out for me while I was at work, you know?
Then he would take over the world and become Moriarty.
I mean, I don't know. He's kind of an addict, you know? I think that would stop him from taking over. Okay, drug addict AI.
Yeah.
That would stop him from taking over.
Oh, God, now you're going to suppress their abilities.
Now we're talking about RoboCop
This sounds
2.
like, this is some this is some science
This is
fiction
RoboCop
movie
2
or
now.
book or something.
Here we go, because remember, in the second one, the fucking... The drug addict dude's brain got put in the bad robot, and then he was addicted to the shit, and they could control him with the drug. Mm-hmm. RoboCop 2. So again, everything goes back to movies and shit.
Crackhead AI.
I mean, we just got to stop with the AI, though.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, it's getting weird.
I mean, the idea sounds great, but the road to hell was paved with the best of intentions. That's sad.
Let's just
That's
make
so true.
sex dolls lighter and better, and not dump them on the side of the road.
How about this? All right. How about we just have real human interaction? And if females aren't into vaginal sex, if we can make semen taste like chocolate, blowjobs will take over. We'll control the population.
Yeah.
Guy gets what he wants. Girl gets some dessert.
Oh, yes.
We're all good.
Chocolate.
All good.
Donuts.
Fucking A.
Yeah. It can be multiple flavors. But I know women love chocolate.
Tacos.
Women love chocolate. We will just solve so many problems with it.
Not all women love chocolate. And I know
I don't know a woman who doesn't.
Well, I'm not just one chocolate-ass bitch. Sometimes I want to
If it was Reese Cup.
Okay.
Oh,
chocolate
yeah.
and peanut butter.
Yeah.
You just said chocolate. You didn't say chocolate and peanut butter.
So, people, reach out, get with me. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Yeah.
This is an opportunity. We will solve so many problems.
You know what else we could do? We could just start putting shit in the water that makes dudes' dicks stop working at, like, I don't know, 35. And that would solve also a lot of fucking problems.
No.
Yeah.
No.
It would.
What problems would it solve?
War. Rape.
So there's an episode of Sliders where the male population was super reduced. And when Jerry O'Connell's character got there, I mean, they treated him like he was a stock animal, you know? I mean, put him on the treadmill, they had to go through all this stuff so he could produce for the sperm bank so they could try to grow the population. All you're asking for there.
Our population's big enough. You have until 35 to knock somebody up, and then you're done with your wiener.
But then people like Bob Saget might not have a chance.
And all these politicians that can't get into politics until they're older, nobody cares to be bought and paid for and wage war and make money if their dick don't work.
Well, most of them, they probably don't work. I mean, you think Trump still works? I don't know. I mean, I haven't been 70
I mean, we
yet,
know
so
Clinton's
I can't imagine
did.
a 70-year-old.
We know Clinton's did.
Well, he was only like 50.
Yeah, he was in his 40s.
Yeah. Trump's like in his 70s.
Yeah, Trump just turned 70. I'm pretty sure. I mean, hell, little Trump the little guy, he's only, what, 10, 11? So I was working at 60 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
I forgot about the little one.
I mean...
Yeah, he's pumping babies into bitches into his 60s.
Well...
There we go.
The one guy from The Odd Couple, he had his first kid at 65, I think.
Jesus
from the original Odd Couple,
Christ.
yeah.
Who would want a kid at 65?
Well, and then, like, seriously, so we had a married couple that lived across the street from us, and they moved and shit. She texts me out of nowhere, and she's like, he left me. They're in their fucking 60s.
Really?
And he left her for another woman.
Oh, God.
Dudes just...
That would suck starting
stop.
over at your 60.
Yeah, she had to leave, move in with her daughter and shit.
What do you do at that point in your life? Like, you've already lived it, and now you got to start the fuck over?
I mean, take over the world, man. Start serial killing dudes. I don't know what you do. I mean, that's my plan. Bert leaves me, people are gonna die. Just cause. Just cause.
The world is safe. Don't worry. I'm not going anywhere. She's going to leave me, though.
I didn't say the world. Dudes. I'm gonna become like a vigilante for like jilted old wives. I'll, like, put pamphlets. Nobody's gonna turn me in. I hang flyers
What
on
about
fucking
jilted
streets.
ass old husbands?
I'll give them props too. You hire if you're over a certain age and your dick wife or your dick husband fucks you over and you got to start all over again at that age. Hire me. I'll take him out. That's if Bert leaves me. If I'm happily married and
God, I hope the FBI don't listen to this.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I'd be
Smart.
supported. I would be fully fucking supported.
Yeah, it's just like that rapist in like Southern California was breaking into women's houses and he was eating them out, and that's what he was doing. And he's like, I'm giving them something. I wasn't taking anything.
Oh my God!
They still got him for rape. So
I like his fucking logic.
because I was doing it for them.
That's fucking weird.
He had good intentions.
Or not. I mean,
Road to hell is paved with good intentions.
I don't want people knocking on my door.
Let's just make something to make semen taste like dessert.
I think wieners should stop working. I'm just saying.
My solution's better, so
I don't think so.
you're wrong. All right, who do we got to thank?
Purple Planet, as usual, for our music. And people out there listening, hopefully enjoying. If you'd like to get in contact with us and let us know what you name your sex doll or your sex robot. Let us know if you think that robot overlords will take over. If you just want to give a shout out and an RIP and props to Mandy, I'll look up and see if maybe there's like a GoFundMe for her burial or something. Hit us up on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at Mouths Potty. If you would like another way to listen to our podcast, we are on Podbean, the Podbean app, iTunes. We have a YouTube channel, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Play Music.
Shoot us some 5-star ratings on iTunes, please. Help us get this out there. We know there's going to be some other people thinking the same weird stuff we are.
If you take a screenshot of us, rate it. You don't have to go to anywhere special, just wherever you get your podcasts. If you like us, give us a rating, screenshot yourself doing it, send it to us on one of our social media outlets. We will give you props, and we're going to eventually make some merch.
Yeah, we definitely want to do some merch, but we need more followers, folks. We want to make sure that we're relevant to you guys and your friends. And
the only way we're going to be relevant, too, is feedback. If there is a topic you'd like us to cover, if you'd like to hear more about sex robots, we'll talk about whatever.
Rock and roll.
I mean,
cool.
We're good to go. I know everybody thought we were kind of one note with the whole month of Halloween, but I had to do a Halloween month. That's my jam. Now we're going to get into all kinds of shit.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about everything. We're going to talk about like some supernatural stuff, just stuff in general society.
Serial
stuff
killers,
we remember when
dogs.
we were kids. I mean, you think about it. We're going to be a pod about anything and everything.
Turtles.
Turtles. We'll talk about turtles. If you want Brad to run a turtle episode, if you are into reptiles and shit, he loves all that scaly, cold stuff. He loves it all, man. If you want to talk about turtles with Brad, let us know. We'll do a turtle fucking episode. We don't care. He'll love it. He'll love it.
I'm down with it.
I will.
I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll take some pictures. We'll get some photos. We'll get some, what do they call them? Those professional photos. What were they called back in the day?
portfolio?
Nope. Glamour shots.
Glamour shots.
We'll get some glamour shots done of Brad's turtles.
I should get some for like Christmas cards with me and my.
Oh my God! I will help you. I will help you. I will get my camera and we will do some glamour shots of your turtles for Christmas.
Sitting on the floor with all my turtles.
Christmas cards. It's happening. We're gonna put Santa hats on turtles.
Hell yeah.
It's happening.
That's awesome.
Look out for the Potty Melts Christmas card.
Oh God.
But this is Stephanie.
It's Bert or Bobcat.
And this is Brad.
Good night, everybody.